This is fifth hour, April 5th, 2016. All right, so we're going to start with, let's go to my computer. We're going to go to computer. Can we dim those lights down, please? Thank you, sir. The drive that you want to make sure that is loaded is removable disk E. It's the 149 gigabyte drive. Okay, so you got AVCHD, you got DCIM. So just make sure that that's on there, all right? The program that we're going to use is called Avid Media Composer. So we're going to double click that, let that load.
This is like the window to all creativity in video production.
It is.
This thing will let you, the sky's the limit once you learn this.
That's what they all
The
say.
only thing that will limit you is your own vision. It's true. You don't know how to use this, man. It's learning how to composite video. It's non-linear composite video.
Okay, so we are in the main program screen, select project. You're going to want to make a new project here. To make a new project, we're going to click on shared here, and we're select new project. And I've kind of already taken the liberty to start a new project. I named it Fifth Hour Film Edit Practice. Okay, so once you name your project, 30 INTSC, that's the default. 16:9 aspect ratio, that's the default. If I hit OK right here, this is what happens. It loads it, and then it loads it into your project window right here. Okay, so this is your project window where all of your clips are saved. Adrian PNF, that's Adrian Sanchez's project. Coach Tyler Holiday, TSEN, editing practice, Ice Age project, Incredibles. So all these are different projects that other students have created. Okay, there's some audio projects that I did. Tony Ratana did a project. There's a music video. All right, so the video that we have is called Fifth Hour Film Edit Practice. All right, so to make a new project, go to New Project, put it in your name, and then hit OK. So once you have it created, you'll hit OK, and it will bring you into your clips. I have taken in most of the clips that we did yesterday. I'm going to show you how to bring in one more off of the camera. Okay, so we've got our bin, which is called Fifth Hour Film Edit Practice bin. And then we've got this let me bring this down here so you can kind of see it better. This little black box right next to Fifth Hour Film Edit Practice. This little black box, if you double click it, it opens up the whole entire project. Okay, so the only thing that we've got in this project is 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 video clips that were taken on April 5th, 2016. Well, that's when I brought them in anyway. Okay, so we have one more clip to bring in. So I've got the camera is connected right here to the computer. And then to bring in one more video clip, we're going to right-click. We're going to go to Import, and this is called the Super Bin. Okay, so we're going to go to Import, and then we're going to go to the desktop. So we'll go to Computer, and these are all written on this instruction sheet. We'll go to Computer. We'll go to Removable Disk E. You want to make sure that you look for the 149 gigabyte drive, which is right here. We're going to double-click that. And we're going to double-click AVCHD. Double-click that. We're going to double-click BDMV. And then the last one we're going to double-click is called Stream. Double-click that one. Okay?
You will find this on Schoology. There will be a link to there'll be documents by the computers too that we can.
Yeah, it's on Schoology. It's actually called To Import Clips into Avid. So you already have this document in your class items in Schoology, so just so that you know that. All right, so we got stream. Let's see, 680, 681, 682. Is there a question? You want me to go? Anybody want me to go through those things again, or are you guys good? Everybody good? Is he playing a game back there?
Drawing. But if it's a picture, what will make you remember, then draw it.
Okay.
I'll take it away.
All right. All right, 685. We have one more clip to bring in. We've got 686, which was filmed at 3:11 p.m. today, or yesterday, it says. So we're going to click on 686. We also want to make sure that the video drive right here is Video Assets V drive, which is also stated in this. You don't ever want to bring it into the C drive because it won't work. If you bring it into the E drive, it won't work. If you bring it into the F drive, it won't work. The only drive that this will work in is the V drive. So double check to make sure that you have the V drive selected, and then you can hit open. All right. So we'll click on 686, hit open, and then you just watch it draw in. It's kind of like watching paint dry. And if you have, like, let's say you have 300 video clips, you do this for 300 video clips. It's not just like you select all 300 and then you walk away. You can only select 3 clips at a time. So select 3, watch the paint dry. When those are done drying, click the next 3 clips. So you right click in your super bin, right click, import, select the next 3, 1, 2, 3, hit open, watch the paint dry. When those are done, if you're feeling up to it, you can go up to File, Save Bin, so that therefore if your computer ever crashes, you won't have to start over at clip number 300 and start completely over. So to save what we've done so far, we're going to go up to File and Save Bin. Okay.
Well, as long as you have some entertainment with you, it'll make the paint dry. Make watching the paint dry a little bit better. And like some music playing while you watch the paint.
Oh yeah,
dry.
people bring in their iPads and they listen to music while they do it, or they, if they're really long clips, they'll set up 3 clips to bring in and they'll go get lunch, and then they'll eat quick, and then they'll run back and they'll click the next 3 clips, import, then they'll go check their email, go do an assignment, click the next 3 clips.
To try to bring it
Yep.
in like as soon as you film it so that you
Yep.
can have a full edit day. So like if you have a day of filming and there's 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the class, it shouldn't take you all day to film stuff. Come in, grab the clips, get them in, get it started. That's the most important thing, was getting it started, really.
Yep. And you guys typically will have 4 to 6 people in your group. So between the 6 of you or 5 of you, someone should have time to get in here and get those clips in so you can start editing. Because there's nothing worse than spending the classroom day
Waiting.
watching the paint dry. It's boring. You should be editing. So coming in after school, getting those things in, academic support, get down here, get that stuff in. If we see you guys importing during class time, there will be some point deductions. So just so that you're aware of that. If that's all you're doing during class time is just importing, we'll write your names down, we'll dock you some points on your final project. So get down here during the day, before school, after school, get those in, all right? All right, so we've got our super bin here, we've got our project bin, which is right here. Let's look at the rest of this diagram here of windows. We've got our source window right here. I've clicked on it, I've activated the source window. If I click on the record window, this turns white. Now this is grayed out. So this is called the record window. This is called the source window. And down here, anybody know what this is called? It's called the timeline. Right here, it's called the timeline. Okay, so this is where our whole entire film gets built. Our sequence gets built of video clips, of audio clips, all those different things. Okay. Let me show you something really quick. Adrian PNF. I'm going to go into his PNF here. I think it's the first one. No, he did it at home. Sorry. That's all right. We'll go back to 5th hour. All right, we'll double click that black box. And okay, so then let me bring in a video clip here. We'll bring in the first video clip. 680 was our first clip. All right, so we've got our source window, our record window. The source window, we've got rewind, we've got fast forward. If you had ever access to a VCR when you were little, you might not even know what a VCR is. Used to play videotapes. Now we're completely digital. We don't usually play videotapes anymore.
DVRs now.
Yeah, DVRs.
Hard drives.
Yep.
Sometimes those trash.
Yeah. So we've got rewind, we've got fast forward, we've got back a frame. Let me go back to some motion here. Does anybody know how many frames are in 1 second? 30. 30 frames in 1 second.
30 frames, but you know what? There are some, if you're watching sports, like you see super slow-mo. The ones I've used them what's called the Phantom Cam, 1790 frames per second. That's how you're able to get the puck just doing this.
That's cool.
It's very cool. So, but in regular video, what we do, and then what you guys edit in is 30 frames per second.
Sometimes I'll shoot in 60 frames per second, and that looks pretty sweet.
That slows down.
Yeah.
Really nice,
Yeah. All right, so we've got some buttons here. There's 30 frames per second, so if I hit back frames, I'm going backwards, trying to find the beginning of whatever my shot is. I can shut eyes here. I can open eyes here. So you can get down to the frame here to however you want to, wherever you want to start on your video clip. Once we figure out where we want to start the video clip, we've got a tool called Mark In. Mark In tells the clip where to start on the timeline. So if we hit play on this, let's actually just watch this. Okay, and now David, you're going to count out.
4, 3.
Ask him, what did you do over spring break?
What'd you do over spring break?
Chilling with friends.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. Say it a little slower, please.
Okay, I chilled with my friends.
Okay.
There you go.
Anything else?
Anything else?
That's pretty much it.
All right.
I slept a lot.
All right, so we're going to go back here. We'll find where he
I'm sorry, I didn't quite.
says his answer.
Chilling with friends.
Chill with my friends.
Chilling with friends. Everyone listen.
All right, so right here, this is where he says, chilled with my friends, right? So we don't need any of this stuff here where David's asking. We don't need the clap or anything like that. So this is footage that we don't need, all right?
What'd you do over spring break?
Chilling.
Chilled with my friends. So we're gonna hit Mark In.
Chilling with friends.
All right, and then the space bar will start your video. It will also stop your video. Okay.
Listen, everyone listen.
There, Mips, what would you go?
The J key will go backwards. So once you're trying to find let's say we play the clip here.
Chilling with friends.
Okay, we're gonna hit the J key to get rid of the laughing. Right there. So that's our out point. Mark in, mark out. It's not a very long audio clip. It's kind of a poor clip to use as this example, but just for the fun of it, we'll use it. All right, so we got our mark in, we've got our mark out, and now we're gonna put it down into our timeline. There's 2 ways to get it down into our timeline. First one is called splice in, SPLICE-IN, splice in, splice in. That will bring that down into our timeline, which just did that. And then you'll notice that now we've got video on our record side. Okay? This side, this record window and the timeline coincide with one another. What happens down here also happens up here. The playhead, this blue playhead, as this is moving, it's also moving up here. Okay? So these 2 windows are related. They coincide with one another. Okay, any questions on that? Coinciding video clips. All right.
Chilling with friends.
Chill with my friends. All right. Okay, so that was called splice in. Splice in brings the video down into our timeline. The second tool that brings video down is called overwrite. So if I actually hit overwrite down here, now we've got 2 of the same clip.
Chilling with friends. Chilling with friends.
If I hit it again, it's gonna bring it in 3 times. If I hit it 10, it's gonna bring it in a whole bunch of times.
Chilling with friends. Chilling with friends. Chilling with friends. Chilling with friends. friends.
We could make it all day long if we really wanted to. Yeah. You could make a song too. Yep. Absolutely. We could also play it backwards. What plays backwards video? The J key.
Snare from the lush. Snare from the lush. Snare from the lush. Snare from the lush. Snare from the lush.
The J key will play your video backwards. Okay. So we can actually undo all that. Control Z will undo everything. Control Z will undo it. All right. Do one more. So now we're just back down to one clip.
Chilling with friends.
All right. So let's go get another clip here. I'm getting bored with chilled, my friends.
Take 2. 5, 4, 3. What'd you do over spring break?
I hung out with my friends.
And
All right. We hung
Hung
out.
out with my friend. I hung out with my friends.
Mark in.
I hung out with my friends.
and
All right. So we've got to mark in. That's where the shot starts, right? We don't need David counting down. We don't need the clap. We just need the beginning of the shot.
I hung out with my friends.
Mark in, mark out. This is the ending of the shot. We don't need any of the stuff after it. So this is called editing. You're editing out the stuff that you don't need.
anything else?
Okay, that's not important, so we're not going to put it in. The next one, we're going to hit overwrite. This shot is a little bit tighter than the first one. We're going to hit overwrite.
Chilling with friends. I hung out with my friends.
Okay. Now we'll go to 682. Before, you know what? I kind of jumped ahead here. Sorry. 680. We got the clapboard here. I forgot to mention here, one of the most important things was naming your clips.
Name those clips.
And we got 680 is actually scene 1.
Did you just click on it or right click on it?
Scene 1, take 1.
Did you just click on the word?
You double click on, well, you can actually just click on the actual numbers here.
To name it.
Yep, to name it. So when it darkens like that, now you can edit it. So if I didn't like scene 1, take 1, I could change that. So if I want to find out what he said here,
Chilling with friends.
chill with my friends. So I can actually write it in here too. Chill with friends. Okay. The next one, 681.
Break.
I hung out with my
Hung out with my friends. And let's see, what's the clapboard say on this one? Clapboard, nothing. We'll just name it as scene 1, take 2. Scene 1, take 2. Hung out with friends. 682. Double click. If you double click the little box here, it brings it up. If you double click the numbers, it will not bring it up into the source window. Okay? So 682. This is scene 1, take 3. Scene 1, take 3. 683. Double click the box. That's junk. All right, so let's say we come across one of these things. And we don't even need this. So here's how you get rid of a shot. So 683, we want to get rid of this one. We're going to click on it. We're going to hit delete on the actual keyboard. Hit delete. Don't hit backspace. Hit delete. And then you're going to get this box. It's going to say delete. And you're going to want to delete one master clip. And you're going to want to delete 3 associated media clips. And then you'll hit OK. Then it will say, are you sure that you want to delete the media files? You'll hit delete. So now 683, that goes bye-bye. It's gone. 684. If I double-click the numbers, nothing happens. I want to rename it, though. So I want to find out what this is. Scene 1, take 5. Scene 1, take 5. If we double-click that one in. Okay, let's name this one really quick, 685. This one's outside, awesome. Scene 1, take 6. Scene 1, take 6. It was called outside
Oh, I was kind of lucky.
Outside Tiger Field. And 686 is also an outside. Scene 1, take 6. We already have that one. Scene 1, take 6. Well, let's do take 7. We forgot to fix that. Outside shot. Okay, so if you take a look at these clips, you'll notice that whatever the clapboard says, this is why you need a good clapboard operator. It was a good marker. You want to name all of your shots here. And so when you get to your PSA or your TV commercial or music video, whatever, if you have all of your shots, like shot number 12B or 12A or 14C, if you have all those slated, then your editor can come in, they can get the footage in, they can name each shot, and then when you start editing all your stuff together, you'll know where everything is because you have everything, all your slates are matching all your shots in here. Okay, so that's
Even more organized, you'd have someone with a clipboard and a list of shot logs saying good take, bad take.
Yeah.
So then you could just bring in only the takes you want then.
right.
And it would save you time on that end as well.
Yeah, you guys should be doing that. Someone in your group should be logging the good shots and the bad shots because you don't need to watch the paint dry on a shot that you're not going to use. Why would you bring in like a 5-minute take of a shot that you're not going to use? What a waste of time. So make sure that you have someone logging your shots that are good and ones that are bad. Okay. Questions on that so far? Any questions so far? So we've brought the footage in, we've named it. Also, another thing, when I brought that first shot down, does anybody see something here that looks out of the ordinary? Something that's not named scene? Untitled sequence. So also look up here. What does this say up here?
Untitled sequence.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
And then also right here.
Untitled sequence.
So what do you think this sequence is called right here?
Untitled sequence.
It's called an untitled sequence. So you never, ever, ever want to leave it named untitled sequence. You always want to give it a name. Okay, so you can name it My Master Movie or Our Main Sequence or Our Master Sequence. Let's name it Our Master Sequence. Okay, and then when we get going here, I'll show you how to make a backup copy. When you've spent like a week on a project, you should make a backup copy because we've had students work for a long time on a project. They come in and it won't open for whatever reason. So it's always good to have a backup copy to your master. Computers can flake out, so it's always good to have a backup copy to your master. When I change the name to Our Master Sequence, look what happened down here. We've got Our Master Sequence up here. We've got Our Master Sequence right here. I can also go up to File and I can hit Save Bin. It saves my movie, and now I'm good to go. I can exit out of this and everything would be saved. Okay? Let's go back to take 3. And then tell them to raise it up a little bit. So you want to be able to see that, okay? Very important that we see that. That's the first shot that after you get done setting your white balance and you set your exposure and you set your focus and you set your shot up, that should go in front of your camera. You okay? Okay. That should go in your camera so that we see it's roll 1, scene 1, take 3. All right. So when you open your camera, you're gonna see all those little picons, those little pictures. You're gonna see all of those as your first shot. That's gonna be showing up as your first shot. Okay. Good. You can clap it. This is always fun. All right. And then count down your pre-roll.
5, 4, 3, 2. Oh wait, no, 2.
2 and 1 are silent. So
I'm sorry.
2 and 1 silent. All right. So now ask them a question.
Oh, what did you do over spring break?
I play baseball.
Anything else?
No. I ate food.
Okay, now I ate food. So he played baseball and he ate food. So now listen. If this was a Tiger News interview, it's really if we were to edit, you know what? Let's just do that. If this is a Tiger News interview and the feature was about what did you do over spring break, I'm going to show you what a jump cut looks like. I ate food, played baseball.
Spring break.
I play baseball.
Do over spring break.
Do I need to keep in the shot? No, I can edit it out. If I want to make him sound dumb, I can leave it in there, but I'm not. I'm going to make him sound smart.
I play baseball.
I played baseball, and so I got mark in, I got mark out. Another way to get footage down is called overwrite. I'll do that right now. And then we'll go get the next little sound bite. Play.
Anything else?
No. I ate food. Goof, yeah.
Mark in, I ate food.
I ate food.
Mark in, mark out. This is the next shot. Okay? And then we'll hit overwrite again.
I play baseball. I ate food.
So let me play it one more time here for you.
I play baseball. I ate food.
Do you see what's happening here? Between the first shot and the second shot, what's happening? He moves all of a sudden, just like jumps from one spot to the next. We call that a jump cut.
Oops.
It's all right.
That is an oops. We don't want that.
Yeah, this is a learning opportunity, though. So now listen to what I suggest to our videographer, who it was. Yes.
Okay, now I'm asking, can you put those two statements together and form a sentence?
Can you put those two statements together and form a sentence?
Over spring break, I played baseball, and no, I ate food.
And no, I ate food. Did we do a take two on that?
Oh, 5, 4.
Over. Over.
All right, so now we had our videographer ask the question again. We got our mark in.
Over spring break, I played baseball, and no, I ate food.
We got mark in, mark out. All right, so now we can go after this clip. We can put our mark in. We can also put a mark in right here, or 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 here. Isn't this the same mark in though? Is this the same mark in? Yes. Yes, it is. Because why? Because these two windows are what? Well, they're not the same because this one's the timeline and this one's the record window. But why can I hit mark? I can keep hitting mark in on both of these windows. Can anybody tell me what these two mark ins do? Or why can I hit both of them? Because they're related. What? You gotta speak up, young man. Did you say that they're related? Did you say that they're related? So, what's the name of this window right here? What's this window called? Record. Yep, someone said it. What's this window called? In the back, what's this window called? Timeline. Is the timeline and the record window related in any way, shape, or form? Yes, they are.
Why are you saying
They coincide with one another. Okay? They're related to one another. What I do, if you don't understand this, then I need to start this lesson completely over. Everybody needs to understand this concept here, because if you don't understand the layout, I can't go any further here. So in the back, I want you to review everything that I've gone over.
That side of the screen is recorded.
That's timeline and both are related.
What's related?
Timeline and record.
The timeline and the record window.
Yep.
What's this window called?
It's the editing
Nope. Starts with an S.
sequence.
Nope. Rhymes with Grors.
What?
Rhymes with Grors.
Source.
There you go.
Tough one.
Source, record, timeline. What I do down here, do you see anything else moving when I move this one down here on the timeline? Is anything else moving? What window is moving? What window is moving as I move this? The what? No! What window is moving? The record window. You guys have got to speak up.
Oh, I got you. I'll speak up.
Jake, come on up, right here.
All right.
You got my back. Sure. All right, I'm going to show you what does overwrite do. Does anybody know?
Adds it on to the timeline.
It does. But there is a difference between splice in and a difference between overwrite. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two right now. So we're going to take this outside.
5, 4, 3.
Jogging, wheels on wheels.
So we got our clapboard. Scene 1, take 6.
4,
We have our pre-roll.
4, 3.
And we've got our start running. This is where we want it to start. What do I do next? Mark in. Very good. Mark in. Hit play.
Said I can't run in these jeans.
Can't run these jeans.
Okay. It's a good shot. All right, so we'll go mark in, mark out. That's our mark out point. You'll notice these little teeth get added on to the very, very end. Now, if I want to put that shot in between these two shots right here, this is where the difference between splice in and overwrite happens. So I want you to watch this one first.
I hung out with my friends.
I play baseball.
Okay? Right here. This little marker right here, this little L right here. If we go forward to this one, I'll show you this one. This is a backwards L. This is a forwards L. This is telling you that, let's go ahead and use the scale bar here. We're going to zoom in. When we zoom in, this is one frame of video right here. This is the next frame, next frame, next frame. If I go right on this edit point right here, you'll see that that's the beginning of that shot. If I go one more frame to the left, you'll see the ending of the previous shot. Here's the little backwards L. Okay, so this is where we mark it in, where we want our next shot to be. So go mark in. Okay, everybody with me? If I hit overwrite, here's what happens. Overwrite, what's going to happen is it's going to cover over the top. It's going to write over, which is basically what the button is, overwrite. It's going to write over the existing shot. So watch. We hit overwrite, we zoom out, and we'll hit play. And now we're missing several shots. The reason why we're missing shots is because we hit overwrite. Let me hit Control Z, or let me hit Edit Undo Overwrite. It undoes whatever we just did. Now if I hit Splice In, here's what we've got. Here's our sequence.
Chilling with my friends. I hung out with my friends.
I play baseball. I ate food.
All right. So we've got mark in, we've got our running shot, If I want to keep all of these shots right here, I'm going to hit splice in. So now let's look at the sequence.
Children with friends.
Running.
Hung out with my friends.
I play baseball. I ate food.
Okay. So splice in, what that does, showed this to first hour, second hour. Forgot my yellow sheet. If we have two pieces of video here, shot 1 and shot 2, and we want to put something in between these two to put it inside here, what must we hit? Splice in, right. If we hit overwrite, and our mark in is in between these two shots, this shot goes away and the new one goes in here. Okay? So keep that in mind between splice in and overwrite. Splice in will save your footage while overwrite gets rid of it. Okay? All right. Questions so far? All right. Let me go back up to our project window. We're going to click on this button called New Bin. When we click on New Bin, a new bin forms. Duh. All right. So what we can do is we can go in here. We can name this. Let's name it Audio Clips. This bin is now called Audio Clips. This one right here is called Video Clips. Video Clips. And if you look right here at this super bin, it's called, what's it called? It's called Video Clips. Exactly. These are all named. We've got our master sequence. You can also add another bin. Let's say you were doing graphics. So go to New Bin, Graphics. Graphics. Here's another super bin called Graphics. So each one of these super bins, we can put specific file types inside of here. So let's go into graphics here once. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to bring in graphics. How do I bring in graphics? I would right click, import, go to my desktop. I've got a few graphics out here. We'll bring in the Avid logo. We'll hit open, make sure that the video assets V drive is selected. Hit open. It's going to draw it in. We'll bring in one more graphic. Right click, import, basketball, open. Nice thing about these windows, you can make them as big or as small as you want. You can move them all over the place. So if I double click this basketball JPEG, it brings it in. If I hit play, it's going to play that video just like as if you were to put a video camera on the floor and record that shot. Same thing with the Avid logo. If you make a graphic and you want it in your composition, it brings it in as a video file. So what we can do is we can bring that basketball shot in. We'll put a mark in. We'll put a mark out. And in between these two shots, find the beginning of that. To find the beginning of it, we look for that little L right there. That's where our mark in would go. Mark in, we add those little teeth, and we'd hit, we want to keep this shot here, right? So would we hit splice in or would we hit overwrite? We would hit splice in. Very good, class. Splice it in.
I play baseball.
There's our graphic.
Yeah, I think I said baseball, not basketball.
I ate food.
I know, but I don't have a baseball one. Sorry. So if you look down here on the timeline here, we've got V1, A1, and A2. These little blue buttons that I'm clicking on. Now they're white. Now they're blue. This basketball JPEG has no audio with it, so that's why there's nothing down here on your A1 and your A2. Okay. We can put audio in there. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So we've got our graphics. We can add the Avid logo. Mark in, play it, space bar, mark it out. And let's put it at the very beginning. Once your sequence is built, you can always go back to the very, very beginning. It looks a little bit different here at the beginning though. It's a little I and L. That's signifying that it's the beginning of the sequence. If you go to the very, very end, of the sequence, it's going to be backwards to be L and I, whereas the front end is I and L. So we'll go back to the beginning. Sometimes people think, well, back in the olden days when we were editing on tape, we could never do this. We couldn't go back to the beginning and add a shot like this. We could never, ever do that. We had to build it in sequential order. And if we forgot to do a shot, we'd have to start over or start over. Or transfer what we've got onto another tape, put the shot in, and then keep going on that.
You lose a generation.
Yeah, then you'd lose a
I
generation.
don't understand that.
What?
You lose a generation of quality, so you'd be
Yeah.
going from tape to tape, and when you go through a component, you'd actually lose quality. Whereas this stays in a digital form and does not lose any quality. Because you're not pushing it through another piece of electronics.
Yeah, so all the footage stays digital. I mean, this is non-linear video editing. Back in the 80s, 70s, we did linear editing.
And even into the 90s a bit.
Yep.
Actually. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, the late 90s is when this came into being.
So there's our graphic. If we want to add in, let's go to the outside shot.
Let's run 30 and come back.
5, 4, 3.
How do I go backwards? The J key, mark it in. Mark it in, mark it out. If we wanted this at the very beginning, let's say we want it after the Avid logo. So the Avid logo comes up, and we want the run to happen. We find the beginning of that next shot, because if you don't find the beginning of the next shot, here's what happens. We will hit, we'll hit mark in, but we're going to leave one frame of that, and then we'll hit splice in. So let me show you what this mistake looks like. Everybody's seen that mistake happen? It's like a little blank. And when you zoom all the way out, it's sometimes difficult to see, but I can see it right away. If you look right here between this one and this one, can everybody see there's a difference between this and that? Some students can't see that. Like, students will say, how in the world do you see that? It's like, how do you not see that? It's like, I don't know. So when we look at your finished sequences, I can see one frame of video really easily where you have it's called a false frame. And the way that you get a false frame is you don't put the mark in at the right spot. Okay? So you gotta make sure that you're getting that mark in, otherwise you're gonna have a video that looks like that. And that's jarring to the brain. It doesn't look good. Okay? So if you go frame by frame, you have one frame of that graphic coming in. So let's say we want to get rid of it. It's like, I don't want that there. So to get rid of it, we would hit mark in, we'd hit mark out, or you could hit mark in or mark out, and we can hit extract. There's also a lift button. There's also an extract button. Here's the difference between the two. If I hit lift, think of a barbell person lifting a barbell. It just lifts it. So there's still a gap there. There's still a gap there. Still a mistake there. Okay? So if we hit extract, we can hit mark in, mark out, extract. It's going to close that gap. It's going to make the edits clean. So it's going to go from shot 1 to shot 2. It's going to look better. All right. Let me show you how to make a graphic just so we stay in the same. Oh, let me bring in an audio clip. Sometimes you can bring in audio clips. You can record them in the studio. You can record them on, we've got some H2 portable recorders. I'm going to go to import. So anything that has a musical note or is an MP3, we can bring in. We've got, let me go to Kelsey new VO. I'm going to hit open here. Bring that voiceover in. And you'll notice that when you bring in a voiceover, it changes the little icon here. It's little sound wave. It's not a video clip. So if you look at the difference between these two, okay, this is a video clip and this is a sound clip. So you can kind of tell the difference because you got your sound wave right there. And then you get your sequence here. That looks like just a bigger film strip than the little tiny clips. Okay. So if we double click the sound clip, you're not going to see any video with a sound clip because there's no video associated with sound clips. So if we hit play.
Mrs. Van Bellinger is back at Farmington High School after a long leave to care for her children. She's glad to be back in the classroom teaching what she loves.
Okay, so that's a voiceover. Kelsey did that in one of our recording sound rooms. You'll notice that over here, let me turn this down a little bit. This is called your VU meters. And when it's reaching in way into the yellow, did you guys see that? Let me play that back for you one more time. When it's going way in the yellow, that's bad. You don't want that, okay? It's too loud. You want it just touching the yellow, not in the yellow like that, okay? Let's see. We can also bring in some music. We right-click, import. Bring in this song, open. Okay, so here's some music. If we double-click that, that brings that in. All right, here's some music. So now what we can do, let me show you the difference between the audio and the video here. We have V1, we have A1, and we have A2. How many ears do you have?
3.
You have 3. Jake has 3 ears. Smart Alec.
I meant 2.
You meant 2. Okay. So how many, when you go to a movie at the movie theater, how many speakers do you hear the sound coming out of? 2 speakers, left and right? And if you go to a really nice movie theater, you have digital 7.1 surround sound. We don't have surround sound here, but we have both left and we have right. When we got speakers for these computers, we have left and we have right. We don't just have left. You don't just have one ear. So when you bring in audio clips, you don't want just one clip of audio. You want both. You want 1 and 2. Okay? So same thing with the movie theater. You want surround sound. You want stereo. Okay? So when we add an audio track, let's say we want to keep all of this audio with all of these video clips. We want to keep the audio with that. We want to keep the audio with that. There is no audio with the basketball, and there's audio with that. Okay? We're going to add that song in here, but we need to add audio tracks. So to do that, we're going to, down in your timeline, you can right-click, go to New Audio Track, and you're going to always select mono. New audio track, mono. You're going to do that twice because 2 mono tracks equal a stereo track. All right? Mono. There's 1. Now we have audio 3. Right click, new audio track, mono. There's audio 4. If you go up here and you select new audio track and you select stereo, we're going to just have you start your project completely over because it's unsalvageable at that time. Okay? It's not even worth, it doesn't work. It will ruin your project. So new audio track, mono, do it twice. All right. So do not select stereo. We're going to add that song in. I'm going to deselect these clips, A1, A2, and V1. And I'll show you why here in a second. We've got our song here. We'll find a spot where it starts. Right there. Right there. Mark in. That's where I want my music to start. That's where the beat starts. So I push mark in. And the way that I got around that so quick, I've got shortcuts. Every single tool on here has a shortcut. You can get around it without using the mouse. There's a lot of things that I'll do with the shortcut. There's a lot of things that I'll do with the mouse. It's kind of your personal preference on what you want to do as an editor. Okay? A lot of people like to click with the mouse. A lot of people like shortcuts. So we've got to mark in. To mark it in, you hit I. If you want it out, you hit O. Okay. So I want it on track 3 and 4, and I want it to start at the very beginning. So I can either hit mark in here, or I can hit mark in here. You can't see it, but the mark in has been added down here. If I zoom in, you might be able to see it. No. And then I'll push a mark out right here. So I've got mark in, I've got mark out. You can see that from the beginning to the end has been highlighted with this blue area. The computer recognizes that mark in, the mark out, and it knows that it's going to put that song in that area. So if I hit overwrite, here's what happens. So the song has been added, the audio has been saved up on here at track 1 and 2, and the video has been left alone. Let me undo that once. Let me show you something else that happens. Sometimes students will forget to deselect these, the video 1, the A1, and the A2. It's like, oh, I'm going to add my audio. I'm going to add it to track 3 and 4. I'm going to hit overwrite. Okay, now everything is gone except for your music. Why? Well, the music took over, but what else is selected on your timeline? All the other tracks. Video 1 is selected, A1 is selected, A2 is selected, 3 and 4. That's where you wanted your music. You got your music there, but in the process, you took everything else out. So we'll do edit undo, bring everything back, deselect these, keep those intact. We'll hit overwrite, we'll bring the music in.
Just one quick weather-related announcement. The 10th grade softball game today is canceled with Chanhassen. Everyone needs to be at practice at Bachman at 3:30. Thank you.
Okay, so we can also go in, we can take down all of the audio levels out of all of our video clips. When we get to the music video, this is exactly what you'll do. You'll build your sequence of shots. You'll take out all of your natural sound, which is what's up on A1 and A2. You'll take all that out and you'll leave just your music, and that's how we build the music video. Okay? So I threw a lot of stuff at you guys today. A lot of stuff. I think we went through about 35 tools and not 20. So this lesson is on Schoology. It will be in about 5 minutes. We'll be in here for about 3 more days going through Avid. All right.